Hello and welcome to a short historical presentation on Herman Melville's Benito Cereno. Herman Melville was born on the 1st of August in the year 1819 to Mother Maria Melville and Father Allen Melville in New York. Herman Melville's life before 1830 was one of wealth and prosperity. Unfortunately, a bad investment in the fur trade cost the family its wealth, and 2 years later, his father, Allen, died suddenly, leaving the family in financial binds. As an adult, Melville enrolled in Albany Classical School, where he studied literature and practiced in debate. He would eventually leave the academy to teach, but quickly realized kids are hard to deal with. Eventually, Melville's older brother, Genroot, arranged for him to be a crewman on a vessel called St. Lawrence. The second voyage of Melville's career was on a vessel called Akshut, a whaling ship that would eventually leave him a prisoner of cannibals for 4 months, giving him a unique perspective on what it means to be a prisoner or slave. Melville's experiences at sea led to several great works of literature, most namely Moby Dick, but we're here to talk about Benito Cereno. Benito Cereno was first published in 1855 in the Putman's Monthly, and a slightly revised version was released in his collection The Pisa Tales in 1856. Melville did not pull the story out of thin air, however. Instead, he used the memoir of the real Captain Amasa de Leon. Melville went on to use De Leon as his protagonist and focal character, all the while following the details of the memoir quite closely. America was a complicated place in 1855. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, and the country was in civil and political unrest. The president of the time was Franklin Pierce, and he would grow to be hated because of his inconsistencies and his pro-slavery attitude, adding to the divide in America. No mountain for you, Pierce. Also at the time was the Compromise of 1850, which further complicated the issues of slavery among the American population. Another issue was slavery was determined by popular sovereignty and would leave slave laws inconsistent throughout the country. At the time, the Fugitive Slave Act was policy, but the northern states were not on board with returning escaped slaves, and so the rebellion began. Meanwhile, in Ohio in 1855, an African-American man named John Mercer was elected to serve in the U.S. government, making him the first African-American to do so. What a confusing time Melville lived in. Melville lived and wrote Benito Cereno in a confusing and turbulent time in American history. His story wasn't specifically pro- or anti-slavery, showing that he most likely was as confused as America was on the issue. Melville's scenario of slaves standing up and taking back their freedoms was a precursor for the Civil War that followed just 8 years later. And we all know how that ended.